Secular Proton asks, what do you think of reparations for the black people in the US for slavery and discrimination they have faced in the past? Oh, wow. All right. Okay. First of all, oh, thank you guys. Let me read that one more time. What do you think of reparations to the black people in the US for slavery and discriminations they have faced in the past? Okay. So the gut reaction to this is to be like, well, this is not fair. The sins of the father is not the sins of the son. Why do people today have to pay for the crimes of things that their ancestors did that had nothing to do with them? Okay. Unlike that take, a lot of people might assume that I would have that take. I do agree that, poverty and wealth have multi-generational effect, right? So if you have like many generations, like, so we're not even close to far enough from slavery for people today not to be suffering economically, socioeconomically as a whole from what has happened before, right? Like, so this is pretty obvious. Like you can see that people's wealth is highly predictable. It's not people, conservatives always come up with examples of people who used to be poor and they did something and they figured it out and they managed to become wealthy, or vice versa, people who were rich who lost everything, and they come up with anecdotal evidence to try to suggest that this is not the case. But even with those anecdotal evidence, the best predictor of wealth is past wealth handed out by your ancestors, right? So if you rob an entire community, an entire group of people from the opportunity um, to progress at an early stage, but then eventually make the laws equal. Like, let's just assume, it's not, but let's assume everything is equal, okay? Even if you make everything equal, the effect of the original disadvantage is still going to hold, even if now everything is equal, right? Like I don't know, like it's like playing basketball with another team, and the other team, at first you like break their knees with a club, and then after the knee breaking is over, you could be like, okay, we'll stop the knee breaking now. As of now, the rules are equal, right? Like, okay, the rules are equal now, but our knees are still broken, right? Like, okay, yeah, that was before. Now the rules are equal. Well, the things that happen to your community, like, again, poverty is multi-generational. Like, it will have lasting effects for like 10 generations down the road. Like, obviously it will continue to have that effect. So we're not even like 3 generations past slavery, they're on 10 or 11, right? But here's the thing. Even though that is true, I still don't think that when it comes to reparations, there are some certain issues, okay? I still think that if you want to reach out to the worst of the worst, targeting by class, targeting by poverty is better than targeting by race, okay? If certain racial groups are not if, like, it's true, okay, but certain racial group of people that have been hit harder by the unfairness of a history of unfair disadvantages, right? it the fact that that will the fact that you're focusing on eradicating poverty will automatically target those people more without you having to try to target a certain racial group, right? Let's say, for example, well, let's not say it. Like, let's actually look at real examples, right? Black people, like in United States, are experiencing a lot more poverty than other groups of people, right? you're like, okay, let's like undo this, like let's target this, let's try to fix this. Well, you don't have to target black people, you could just target poor people, because guess what, other poor people have also been dealing with multi-generational effects, maybe not slavery but something else that is cause for major poverty. Like the fact that, let's say, black people experience more poverty than other people in the United States. Well, if you just target poverty, then you automatically are targeting black people more. You don't even have to make it a race thing. You will automatically target black people more because you're targeting poverty. And then you're also going to reduce the chances of like creating conflict and resentment by trying to give advantages to certain ethnic group, even if you could show that it's justified. Well, if it's justified, just target poverty, right? And also when it comes to targeting poverty as a whole, not focusing on any racial groups, reparations, what are we talking about? Are we talking about cash handouts? Because that's the worst way of eliminating poverty. Okay, like, are we talking about investing in communities, education, family planning, decriminalization of certain of drugs? By the way, all the things that helps black people come out of poverty are the things that the conservatives are against, right? Like people are like, a lot of conservatives make it seem like it's the liberals that are trying to create this victimhood complex and are trying to create an identity of people just accepting that they are behind and they'll always be behind and they will stay there because of what the liberals are doing. But it's actually no. If you look at the actual solutions to poverty among black community and everywhere else, the three main solution comes from the left. Okay, again, I know like people are going to be upset that I'm saying liberal and left. Yeah, whatever. Bite me. The three solutions are access to education, which the leftists are just saying, right? Family planning, which is the right leanings are against, and legalizing drugs. So those are what we need, and the right lean, so, but yeah. So basically, the answer is reparation. What do you, if by reparation you mean just investing in education and in communities and outreach, long-term investments based on like evidence on things that work, just targeting poor communities that just happens to be mostly black, but also sometimes not black. If that's what you mean by reparations, then yeah, that I'm for that. I'm definitely for that. But if by reparations you just mean cash handouts to people that just happen to be a certain skin color, then I'm definitely against that. Okay, so it depends on what you mean by reparations.
Hey guys, if you want to join these streams live, get your comments and questions read by Ali and Armin and the guests, and most importantly, to get full access to the full video versions of all these episodes, become a patron. Link in the description below.